Okay. So for 10.5, number 3, we have to calculate the volume and the surface area of this solid. So what we have is a cone and a cylinder. So I'm just going to bring up my formula sheet here. Okay. So if we look, the volume of a cone is, let's see, will it let me write? Volume is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. And then we also have a cylinder here, so we're going to add on that volume as well. So the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times the height. So if we look in here, the radius of both the cylinder and the cone are both going to be 2. And then they do not give us the height of the cone. So we are going to have to figure that out. So in there, we do have a right triangle. We know the radius was 2 and that the slant height is 7. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to find that missing height of the cone. So that's going to be 7 squared equals 2 squared plus, we'll just label it x squared. Oops, sorry. Oh, that did not work. I'm going to use my mouse to move it over a little bit. There we go. So x squared. Okay, so that's going to be 49 minus 4. So it's going to end up being the square root of 45 for our x value. And that's going to be the height of our cone. So all we have to do to find the volume is plug all of those numbers into our equation and then type it into a calculator. So r is 2 again, and then the height of the cone is the square root of 45, and then the height of the cylinder is 5. And then for surface area, if we look, we need to find the surface area of the cone, but the bottom of the cone isn't actually part of the outside surface area. So we're not going to include it there. But if you look, the bottom of the cylinder would be the same as the bottom of the cone. So for our surface area, we're going to find the surface area of the cone because that bottom part is just lower than normal. And then we're going to add the lateral surface area of the cylinder. Okay, so we know the surface area of a cone is pi r squared plus pi r L. So with this, we know our surface area is going to be pi 2 squared plus pi times our radius, 2 again, times our slant height, which was 7. Awesome. And then we also are going to add the lateral area of the cylinder. So if you look at the cylinder formula, we have 2 pi r plus 2 pi r h. This first part, that gives us the surface area of the two bases of the cylinder. So for this one, we don't want to include those because the top base is covered up and the bottom base we included in the surface area of the cone. So we don't want that. So we're only going to be using the 2 pi r h for this one. And we're going to just add that on at the end. Oh. So it's going to be 2 pi r h. So we're going to put plus 2 pi. Our radius is also 2. And then the height of the cylinder is 5. So that's what you would plug in there. And then you could type this all into your calculator to get the surface area of that shape.